Hey guys, this is me. Thank you for tuning in to another vlog. If you can see, I have my little backdrop here trying to be fancy. This is actually my shower curtain. I'm in my bathroom right now. So on my way home, and I was thinking about what I was going to vlog about. I had no idea. So when I was driving on my way home, at first it was kind of raining just a little bit. But as I started to drive, it started to pour down raining. Like this storm was, and it came out of nowhere. Like I was just driving and then the rain just started pouring down. And I hate to drive when it's pouring down raining. I do not like to drive when it's pouring down raining. I freak out. Like I'm thinking about the cars behind me. Are they going to crash into me? I'm thinking about, am I going to be able to see the car in front of me? It's just my mind and anxiety just takes over. So my first instinct is to pull over. Like I'm going to pull over and I'm going to wait this storm out. I'm going to just sit in my car, pull over to the side and just wait because I don't want to drive any further and end up harming myself or somebody else. So I'm driving and I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep driving. So I was like, if I can get through this storm, it's going to stop raining eventually. I just got to get through this storm. And so when I got through it, it started to lighten up a little bit. So then I'm calming down, and that's when I was like, oh God. Like it hit me how so many times we are going through these storms in our lives, and our first instinct is to just stop. Like I'm not going to try to fight. I'm not going to try to pray my way through this. I'm tired. I have anxiety about everything that's around me and affecting me. So my first instinct is to just stop where I'm going. Like this storm is pouring down, but I'm going to just stay in this storm because I don't feel like doing anything, and I don't feel like moving, and I don't feel like pushing through the storm and getting through the storm. And the way that I was when I was driving is the way that so many of us, myself included, can be when we get in these storms. And our first instinct is like panic, and then we stop and we freeze. But that's not how we should be when we come through a storm in our life. The same way that I decided, okay, I'm going to keep driving through this storm because eventually it's going to end, is the same way that we have to be when we face any type of storm and difficulty in our life. The storm eventually lightened up. It was still raining just a little bit, but I was still able to see the road, see the lines in the road, see the car in front of me, behind me, and all of that stuff. So I'm driving, and of course I start to calm down because now I'm like, okay, I'm okay. And then it starts to pour down again. And so my first instinct is, how did I react in the storm that I just went through? How was my mindset? How was my thought process when I was going through this storm? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna make it through this one too. I'm not going to pull over like I was tempted to do in the last storm. I'm going to keep driving my way through. And that's how we have to be. And so many of our storms that we've been through previously prepare us for the next storm. We might have felt like, okay, that one was difficult, that one was hard, but that's going to prepare you for something else that you might have to go through later. And you will be able to use that as an encouragement, as a tool, and be able to look back and see, okay, how did I handle this? How was my prayer life? How was my thought process? How was my mouth? Was I speaking life or death? Was I calming my spirit and having peace about this storm? Or was I panicking? And so we can use those positive things and how we reacted in our last storm when we face another storm. So I was able to drive through this storm again because I remember, okay, I drove through that one, and this is what I did, and this is what I didn't do. And so I was able to get through that. And even as I was driving and I came across a car that had its blinkers on, and it was pulled off to the side. And so my first thing is, okay, maybe they decided to pull over because the storm was too much for them. And so many of us, when we're going through a storm and somebody else around us might be going through the same thing, and they're feeling defeated and they've stopped in the storm. They're not trying to press their way through the storm. They're not trying to, encourage themselves and build up their spiritual life. They're just like, okay, I'm going through this, and so I'm just going to stop. Now I'm just going to let it rain on me. Like that's how that's not how we want to be, because, if we allow people who might have stopped in their storm to affect us, and then we stop in our storm, we can't get what we need, and we're not able to learn from that storm, because we just, defeated our own selves, because we haven't used what's in us and the Spirit of God that is in us. If you're going through a storm right now, like, don't stop, don't pull over, don't allow other people who might have been going through their own storm or the same storm, like, yeah, girl, I went through that, and blah, 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 this is how that turned out for me. And then you start to feel like, well, is that how my life is going to be? Because they going through the same thing. Does that mean that's how it's going to end up for me? Like, no. You have to decide in your mind to make it through this storm. And I was able to make it to my destination because I didn't stop. And I was able to get there even though, I had to slow down. You might have to slow down sometimes, but you're still going to get to your destination. I was able to get there. Now, if I was in that other car that had stopped, and if I had even decided to stop and pull over, it would have taken me longer to get there. And if we continue to just push, and not stop, we're going to get to where we need to be. So, speak life. Go through your storm. You're going to get through it. It's not going to last forever. It may be pouring down. You may not see, what's in front of you. You may not see why you're going through what you're going through, but just go through it. When you come through, there's beauty and sunshine and, lessons and blessings waiting for you on the other side. So, if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and share. You guys have a blessed week.